welcome back to part 2 of this crazy long explanation of my Belize trip. So let's get straight into it. What did we do when we were in Belize? So the trip was kind of short. It was about 3 days, which one day was kind of lost because travel, just getting there took time. So that entire day was just gone just from traveling. So keep that in mind when you go to accommodate for it being a full travel day, especially if you're going to take the water taxi. All right. The first day we were there, or rather second day we were there, we went snorkeling. So when we left San Pedro, the snorkeling was at Key Calker. So we had to take the water taxi from San Pedro to Key Calker. The guide of the snorkeling tour met us at the water taxi terminal and took us to their business hut or whatever. And there we got fitted for our snorkel gear, headed off to the boat. All right. The trip was split up into 3 different areas, which we did. The first part was like the fish sucking with the hand, bad explanation, but you'll know when you do it. Okay. And then we did the nursery sharks and the stingray snorkel. And then we went off and we did some just exploratory snorkeling for about 30-40 minutes. All in all, I want to say the entire trip was about 2 hours, but that's not including the time it took us to get from San Pedro to Key Calker. So we went snorkeling and it was the coolest experience ever. And definitely the guy who was running the snorkel company was super cool. It was the best experience. I felt like we started off doing this thing where, I don't know, there were these fish that would come up and grab the little fish out of your hand. I'm explaining this horribly. Just know it was an experience and it was fun, and y'all need to do it when you go, okay? So we did that, and then we went off to another area to go snorkeling, and the current in the ocean was crazy. It was so strong. I'm not a swimmer. I cannot swim, but I'm if I have a life jacket on, I'm good to go. I did have a life jacket on, but the current was just so strong. It just would push you away from the boat and back to shore. So we had to hold on to a rope, or I had to hold on to a rope really, really tight to keep from drifting off into the ocean. But it still was a fun experience. The first part of the snorkeling experience, we were able to swim with the stingrays and sharks, which was so much fun for me. Anyway, I just wanted to hold and touch the stingrays and the sharks. If you look at pictures, my hand and the photos are always down because I'm trying to touch the sharks and the stingrays. One of the guys finally saw that I was trying to touch these stingrays, and he just grabbed one and was like, "Do you want to touch it?" I'm like, "Oh my God, yes, please, let me touch it." Because it was so cool and their skin was so smooth and it wasn't scary at all. The sharks that were in there, they were nursery sharks, so they don't bite. They just suck. They were harmless. And stingrays, they will not attack you. They will only, I guess you could say spike someone when they feel like they're being attacked. So you physically have to hold them down to where they feel threatened for their lives before they end up attacking you. So I was not worried at all. Plus, I was in good hands with our guides that day. So it was the best experience. So we did the things with the ship, fished off the boat, and then we went snorkeling with the stingrays and the nursery sharks. And then we went off to another area and we snorkeled some more. But for this part of the snorkeling, it was really chill and laid back. We were just in the landscape or the ocean and just the fish. It was the best experience. I always love snorkeling. Yes, I cannot swim, and yes, I do go snorkeling. Like I just told you guys, life jacket, jump out of the water, you'll be fine. You will not drown, okay? Or at least I didn't. Our guy was great. The current was still strong, even with this laid back area that we were in, but we were just holding onto a rope that he had, so we all stayed together and wouldn't get separated. So that was reassuring for me as well, considering I was the non-swimmer of the group. They did tell us when we got there that we would have snacks. Their idea of snacks was fresh pineapple, which I'm cool with. I'm fine. It was great that it was fresh pineapples, but I hadn't eaten breakfast that morning, y'all. And I was a bit annoyed when they put out that damn pineapple. What am I supposed to do with that? But I ate it nonetheless. They put a little rum on it, you know, made it taste like a little bit of a pina colada. I would have much rather had some food at that point, but we made do with what we had. Okay. Once we were done on the boat, they took us back to Key Calker, and we got food. Thank God we got food, because your girl was hungry. Okay, I told y'all we missed breakfast. They took us to this local spot. I ain't gonna lie, when we pulled up, I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this one. But y'all, that food was bomb. Okay, it was bomb. I ordered the lobster kebabs and barbecue pork chops. I don't even like barbecue sauce, y'all. And that food was so good. And it wasn't because I was hungry. It was just that good. A lot of the girls ordered the snapper. I wish I had, because that snapper was fresh. Like, I feel like they literally were fishing for that snapper right before we pulled up, and it came straight out of the water onto the grill to our plate. Like, so good. And y'all, it came with this rice. I don't know what type of crack he put in that rice. If you from the South and you know what butter rice is, it was better than butter rice. That's all I'm going to say. So if you are in Key Calker, Belize, go to Kareem's spot, okay? It is the truth. If I was staying on Key Calker, I would have ate Kareem's every single day. Every day. The next day, we once again had to go to a different place for activities, cave tubing and zip lining that day, and we were supposed to go to the Mayan Ruins as well. All of those things were on the mainland in Belize City. So y'all know that is 2 ways to get there, by boat or by plane. And of course, we went by boat. Our boat was a private charter, so we didn't take the water taxi over, but it still was like an hour 15-minute boat ride from the dock that we left from to the docks in Belize City. Okay. The way we went wasn't very luxurious, but we got there in one piece. Y'all, your girl on that little boat, I wasn't doing too good, but I made it. Thank you, Jesus. Praise you. Hallelujah. Okay. So keep that in mind and ask questions if you're a little bit iffy about the smaller boats. Just to be clear on what you will and won't be getting transported in. All right. Because I damn near lost my mind heading there. Okay. Because it was very choppy in the water. So yeah. Our captain came and picked us up from the dock near our resort, and then we headed over to Belize City. Once we arrived in Belize City, they took us by van to the touristy area that we were going to be doing the cave tubing and zip lining. It was about an hour drive from the docks in Belize City to get to the cave tubing and zip lining park is what I'm going to call it. I'm only saying it was about an hour because I honestly don't know. Your girl fell asleep. We had to be up at like 7 o'clock to meet the captain at the docks. So, yeah, it probably was about an hour. So, you get there and you will definitely need your water shoes for this one. And you will definitely need your waterproof case for this one. When you're tubing, you're just going to have a tube and a helmet. And of course, a life jacket. Right? You have to walk from the entrance of the park to the caves, and that's about a 25-minute walk. For us, it was unfortunate that it started raining probably about 5 minutes into our walk. So the entire time we were basically walking in the rain. And I'm not, for us, talking about like a drizzle. It was like pouring down, raining. But it was worth it because we finally made it to the tubing, and it was quite an experience. It was relaxing. I would say that much. Again, there was a little bit of a rapids, and by little, I mean very little bit of a rapids at the beginning of the tube. You're pretty much being drugged through it by your guide because on that day, I guess the water just wasn't flowing very fast. So it would have taken us forever to get through it if we literally were just like drifting through the caves. It was kind of cool. It was a bat cave. I only saw one bat. There weren't any like physically up in the holes or anything like that. which I was kind of thankful for because that would have freaked me out. It was very much so giving the hills have eyes vibes. You can't see through the water that's up under you, so hopefully there was no creepy crawlies, but it did freak me out several times because some things would like brush my leg, and your girl did not like it at all. Not one bit. But we made it out of the cave safe and sound and drifted down the river a little bit more. And I actually preferred it when we were out of the caves because it was bright. I could like see around me. It wasn't dark. I wasn't having to rely on the guide to get me out of there safely. So it was a pleasant experience once we were out of the caves, at least for me anyway. Honestly, I could have went without the tubing part. It was something I was glad I did because it was an experience, but it's not something that I would just like jump on doing again just because you literally were just sitting there laying in a tube. There wasn't really any rapids. Somebody was just kind of like dragging you along, and it was okay. That's all I'm saying. It was okay. Now, once you get done tubing, you're going to go back to the entrance of the park, and then they're going to escort you off to do the zip line. I'm going to let y'all know now, that zip line equipment ain't clean, okay? They go from person to person with that zip line equipment. They don't clean it in between you, so you're going to smell some smells. And that smell is musk, okay? So try to be a good sport about it. I don't think I was, but try to be a good sport about it and make the most of it. The ziplining experience was by far so fun. I was glad I did it. You just feel so free once you like just are soaring through the air like a bird. Like, I love that part about ziplining. But I did not enjoy getting from one line to the next. So with their zipline course, you pretty much are like hiking in between each line, and it was rather exhausting. Your girl is out of shape. So I was huffing and puffing getting from line to line, and then add on it being hot and me sweating and the mosquitoes and the equipment being a little funky. Like, I can say I had a bit of an attitude, okay? But made it through. We did, all of us. We made it through, and it was a great experience, and I would definitely do ziplining again. I would probably just bring some Febreze or something to spray down the equipment. So recommendations for this excursion, if you do the caving and the cave tubing and the zip line, is to bring you, if you're a female, like a head wrap or something to put over your head, because you will have a helmet on and it smells. I did have a head wrap on because your girl was rocking some Leroy braids because I had a wig, and my head wrap smelled so bad when I took it off. So I was glad I had that head wrap on. And then also try and bring like a t-shirt or something to put over you after the tubing or while you're tubing, so that way the vest for the zip lining won't physically touch your skin, because again, y'all, it's dirty. So I would recommend you wearing like some either some workout clothes or a swimsuit that you can like put a cover up on over it pretty quickly, because you're going to go from the tubing to zip lining very fast. Like, they're going to shuffle you along like, all right, let's go, let's move it. So you'll need to be able to change really, really fast. Yeah, and bring your bug spray again. Emphasis on the bug spray, y'all, because them bugs be biting. We didn't make it to the Mayan Ruins, unfortunately. Like I said, hot, humid, sweaty, funky equipment. We just felt disgusting. We were tired. It was already a long day going from San Pedro to Belize City, and then getting to the Mayan Ruins from the current amusement park was like another hour's drive. At that point in the day, it was probably about 3 o'clock, and we all were over it. We wanted to get back to the hotel. We wanted to be able to relax. So we cut that part short. We didn't go to the other part of the Mayan Ruins. So just know, if you do this thing or this excursion with the tubing, the zip line, and the Mayan Ruins, you're looking at a full day's trip if you're leaving from San Pedro or Key Calker. It's going to be about an 11, 12-hour day, because for us, it was about an 8, 9-hour day, and we didn't even go to the Mayan Ruins. So once we did eat at this restaurant that was like right next to the amusement park, I mean, the food was okay. Some of the other ladies loved it. I think it was what I ordered I didn't particularly enjoy, so just be mindful of that. I mean, it's food. You'll eat anything at that point. If you were like us, we missed breakfast yet again, so we just ate what we could. And then we just headed back to the docks, which again was an hour drive, and then we rode the boat back to San Pedro, which I was a bit more comfortable heading back than coming because of my position in the boat. So when I was going there, I was sitting in the front of the boat, so you can feel all of the waves and the choppiness and the bumps in the front, so they made sure that I sat in the back, so I was a little less stressed. I ain't gonna say I was stress-free. I was just a little less stressed on the way back. Okay, but it was a fun time. That excursion was definitely something that I probably will repeat. I'll just know that I'll be a bit bored during the tubing part of the experience. Okay, so there are other things you can do on the islands. You can do what do you call it? Scuba diving. I can't swim, so I'm not scuba certified, but for those people who are scuba certified, it's going to be beautiful, so I definitely would recommend you doing that. You can also, I want to say you can do the skydiving as well. I just don't know from where. Most of the excursions were either on Belize City or Key Calker. I really didn't see many excursions that were going to be leaving from San Pedro. So keep that in mind. If you're a person who likes to do excursions, you may want to consider staying on Key Calker then instead of San Pedro. Just my recommendation anyway. If you guys have any questions about the trip, just let me know. Put it down in the comments and I will answer those. Belize is definitely a repeat destination for me. I am absolutely going to go back, stay longer, and do more. So that was one thing that I wish I had done is stayed longer, but time didn't afford me that. So that's it for this video, you guys. I will see you on the next one. As usual, like this video, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye.